Anyone else out there have to do with their name being mispronounced on a daily basis? Come on, don't be shy. I know there's tons of you out there. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be a video bashing my name and how much I don't like it or anything, because I'm actually lucky to have a name like mine. I know that people don't try and say my name wrong on purpose, but there's just been some times where someone would call me something that wasn't even close to my name. It's just that... okay, let me backtrack for a second. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jah-vahn, but it's pronounced Jah-vahn, like if the O was there instead of the A. And I get it, because in your mind you would say and think to call me Jovan, right? Which is fine. It's the most common one, I'm used to it. If you came up to me and you were like, hey Jovan, I'd be totally like, hey, it's Jah-vahn, and be on my way. However, nothing will ever top the amount of mispronouncing and wrong naming that I had to go through during my first day of 8th grade. I was actually having a pretty good day and I was so excited to be an 8th grader. You're at the top of your school ladder, you feel like more of an adult, and not to mention all the perks 8th graders got that you couldn't get as a 6th or 7th grader. For example, anyone remember those Scooby-Doo cinnamon snacks that you would get at lunch? Yeah, for some reason at my school, you're only allowed to get those if you're in 8th grade, and you're able to get 2 of them if you wanted, so best believe I got as many as I could. Anyway, I'm heading into my 6th and final period, which is English, aka my favorite subject. I'm not really seeing the teacher anywhere until I see a tall, lanky man walk in. He gets in front of the class and says, hello class, my name is Mr. Smith and I'm your substitute teacher for today. Your original teacher, Mrs. Sosa, will be back until tomorrow, so for today you're gonna have me. Now, for me, and I feel like this is kind of generally known, but having a substitute basically means you have a free class, and for me at that time that usually means I'd pull out some paper and draw some comics. Just when I was about to start drawing though, Mr. Smith speaks up again and says, oh right, I have to do the attendance. Okay, let's see here. So he's calling out the other names of the other students, and I'm just waiting for him to call mine, like, okay, he just said Frank, and now Henry, am I next? What does that say? Does that say Jovan? Is Jovan here? Am I saying that right? Jovan, are you here? I'm literally cringing in my seat at this point, because at first I was like, it's fine, he's a substitute, it happens. So I raise my hand and say, here. But apparently he didn't hear me at first, because he goes on to say, Jovan Nazir, are you here? Last call for Jovan. Is that an I at the end? Is it Giovanni? Giovanni? Are you here? And now at this point, the rest of the class is laughing, so I loudly say, here! Oh, Jovansky, there you are. Yeah, it's actually Jovan. Sorry about that, I'll definitely remember it for next time. So he continues on with the attendance, and my friend Craig whispers to me and says, you alright man? That was kind of painful to watch. I say back, yeah dude, it's all good, I go through this daily. It's not like he's gonna talk to me again after this. But of course I was wrong. After Mr. Smith was finished with the attendance, everyone kind of went back to doing their own thing. I personally was working on my latest page of a Smash Brothers comic, except replaced with me and my brother as the main characters. I was on the last page of it before I finally finished the last comic score and said, finished. I was kind of known for making comics during middle school, so it wouldn't be too long before someone would ask me if they could read it. I was passing it to Craig to read before Mr. Smith passed by my desk and said, oh, what's this Giovanni? A comic? Oh, how cute. Yeah, thanks. Would it be okay if I give it a read after your friend does, Giovanni? I wasn't really sure what to say, so I just said yeah. Fast forward to the last 10 minutes of class and Craig gave Mr. Smith the comic to read. I was packing up all my stuff and immediately I hear, oh Jovan, I finished reading your comic. I just took a deep breath and decided to go over to his desk. And surprisingly, Mr. Smith was a huge fan of Super Smash Bros. As much as I was, which is something I really wasn't expecting. We talked about who our main was in Super Smash Bros. Before he decided to give me the comic back and told me to have a good day. So here I am thinking that we're fine after that whole thing in the beginning of class. The bell rings, I'm walking out the door, and before I do, he stops me and says, oh, now I'm not sure if you should call yourself your actual name in your comic. Kinda seems too confusing. Like, excuse me? Saying 5 letters in the form of a name is too confusing for you? Now, the petty part of me would have told him that I knew a word that isn't confusing and something that we both knew, but I let it be until the next morning when Miss Sosa came in and I told her what happened, and after that I never saw Mr. Smith again. Look, here's the thing. I don't mind when people mispronounce my name. It happens and it's going to keep happening, and that's just part of life. But if you're gonna go out of your way to genuinely mispronounce it and say it's confusing, then that's where I have to draw the line. If anything, I do go by Joe now by my friends, my coworkers, my family, etc. Just because it's my nickname now and it's something that just happened, so I can't be too upset about it. But hey, Mr. Smith, if you're watching this, I just want to let you know I ended up putting you in the comic as Wario. In the story mode version, it didn't really end that well for you.